Part 3, Full Court Press Basketball Debate, February 3rd, 2015. Josh Smith booed in his return to Detroit as Houston gets blown out. Now, this was on the 31st. Your thoughts on this?
I didn't see it. I didn't know about it. There's not too much I can say, except I would, not knowing all of the circumstances, just speaking from a totally Skip Bayless point of view, shame on the fans. I mean, really. I don't think anybody leaving the team, unless it's for illegal reasons, or they are deliberately have hurt someone in a game, or whatever. He left to better himself. Why should he be getting booed?
Okay.
Did I miss something?
Well, you're almost right. Let's keep in mind
I'm almost right, okay?
Let's keep three things in mind. Number one.
They didn't boo LeBron.
Number one. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
I agree.
Okay. Josh Smith never did anything wrong to Detroit. It just never worked out. Okay. Number two. He was traded to Houston. He didn't ask to leave.
Right.
He didn't leave. He got traded.
Okay.
So if anybody should be booing anybody, Josh Smith should be booing the Detroit front office.
Right.
Okay.
They got rid of him.
Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Third, he didn't do anything to deserve that.
That's why I was asking you, is there something I don't know?
I'm elaborating. He was never in trouble with the law.
Right.
He was never suspended.
Right.
Maybe a technical foul here and there. Maybe an ejection.
He didn't beat anybody up and a video camera caught it.
There was nothing that
no
he
DUIs,
did.
no.
He never did anything stupid.
Okay.
So this isn't fair. Come on. And, okay, let alone Detroit won the game by 19. Okay? Very surprisingly won the game by 19 against a good Houston team. Okay?
Yeah, but look who they're playing without.
Now you add insult to injury by look. First of all, I don't understand why this is a headline. Because everybody saw it coming. It's not like this was a surprise to anybody. Of course, it's Detroit.
Why would you see it coming?
Because
they
Detroit
didn't boo LeBron when he went back on the floor.
We're not talking about Detroit here. Detroit is known for doing this. Detroit is known for doing this.
Okay.
Detroit did this to Rasheed Wallace, who brought them a ring in 2003.
Oh, I didn't
2004,
realize that.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, they're known for doing this. Okay. Whatever. I mean, Josh Smith's better than that. He's better than that. It didn't work out. Don't boo him because something didn't work out.
Did he have any comments to make about it? What was the look on his face? Was he devastated?
No.
I didn't see it.
He didn't appear to be devastated.
Okay, well then maybe he's in a better place.
Atlanta loses Thabo Sefolosha for 6 to 8 weeks with a calf injury.
What kind of calf injury? Does he have a torn muscle? Does he have a...
It's a strain. But in your calf, a strain is pretty big.
Well, yeah, because every time you get ready to walk or run on it again, it cramps up again. Kind of like a Charlie horse you can't get rid of.
How much does this hurt Atlanta? And why?
It hurts. It hurts. Don't you think? I don't think it hurts as much as... Okay, he's a good all-around player. Okay? At least that's what I see. Now, I'm not the statistician like you are. I don't know all the stats. I can't talk numbers. But I know that he more often than not produces. He's not a detriment to the team. Is he their star? No. Teach me.
When you talk about this 19-game win streak that Atlanta just had snapped by our Pelicans, I can't get enough of saying that.
I know. Yay!
When you talk about the 19-game win streak, there's three things that went well for Atlanta. As weird as that sounds. Their starters played well.
Okay.
They were very well coached. They are very well coached because Mike Budenholzer should win Coach of the Year.
I agree with that, by the way. And by the way, not to interrupt you, he's a very gracious, very well-spoken, very... They interviewed him and I listened.
Mm-hmm.
He did
Knows
not...
what he's doing.
Not only that, you know what I admired the most? He gave all the credit to the team.
Of course he did.
No, he's not one of those, well, I did this and I taught them that and I'm going to bring...
And number 3, their bench has been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about Mike Scott. Say what you want about Pero Antic. The leader of the Atlanta Hawks bench is that of Thabo Sefolosha.
Absolutely.
A lockdown defender. A decent three-point shooter.
Mm-hmm.
A great teammate all around.
Well, that's why I said he's a great all-around player. He's not a star.
This hurts Atlanta.
This hurts.
This hurts Atlanta because of the time frame he's going to be out. 6 to 8 weeks.
That's a long time.
Again, when I talk about Atlanta.
There's no surgery required or anything, huh? He's just got to stay off of it and rest.
When I talk about Atlanta, every time I talk about Atlanta, what do I say? I want to see how they come back after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Well, now you got another mountain to climb.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, it's going to hurt.
DeMarcus Cousins replaces Kobe Bryant on the Western All-Star team. Your thoughts?
I'm going to turn this one around on you. I don't do that very often, but usually when I do, I have a very valid and good reason for doing it. Can't you think of somebody else that they could have picked to replace Kobe besides DeMarcus Cousins?
No.
You can't.
No. And unless you can come up with a name that's averaging 23 points and 12 rebounds.
No, I just wanted to know if I was missing somebody, because I racked my brain when I saw the question.
Other than Damian Lillard, no. And
why
honest
not
to God,
Lillard instead of Cousins?
because Cousins has put up better numbers than Lillard. 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks a game. That's MVP worthy. Much less All-Star worthy. He should have been in from the very beginning, which is why I say you can't leave this crap up to the fans. Because they pick who they like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the way All-Star works.
No, it should be based on their stats and their playing
Right.
ability.
I'm sorry, DeMarcus Cousins is a top 3 big man in the league right now. In the league!
You think it has anything to do with his personality as to why he didn't get picked?
No. I just think Sacramento doesn't have enough fans. That's why he didn't get voted in.
Really?
That's why he didn't get voted in. Because Sacramento doesn't have enough fans.
And neither does Portland?
No, Portland does. But Aldridge is in, not Lillard.
You can't have more than one?
You can. But more people like Aldridge than Lillard.
Okay, but they could have voted for both.
They could have. But that's not the way it worked, obviously. This is why you can't leave this up to the fans. Because, I'm sorry.
But on the other hand, if you leave it up to the front office and you've got one team that's got like 4 people
They're not going to do that.
that should be in the All-Stars
You pick
because
2.
they're the best.
You pick 2. You pick 2. Because I'm sorry, DeMarcus Cousins, in my opinion, is having a
Is
better
there
year.
anybody on the All-Star team? Is there more than one player from one team?
Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson.
They're both in there.
But Thompson's a reserve.
Thompson's on the bench unless they need him.
Curry, well, he's going to play. That's the way the All-Star
Well,
game
and
works.
I understand that,
But
but you know
Curry's a
damn good and well
starter.
Curry's going to start.
Curry's a starter,
Right.
and Thompson's on the bench. I don't see how in the holy hell Kyrie Irving didn't make the All-Star
I
team,
don't either.
but that's beyond me. This is why you can't leave this up to the fans. Because in my opinion, and I love me LaMarcus Aldridge, okay?
Don't you think Isaiah Thomas should be on there?
Okay, if we're going by what we said in part 2, the top 10 players from each conference,
see?
no, I don't think he should be on the All-Star team.
Okay.
Because he's not a top 10 player. He's good, but he's not a top 10 player. Okay? I'm sorry. I love me some LaMarcus Aldridge, but DeMarcus Cousins is having a better year than LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But Aldridge is more popular.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Aldridge is not deserving of an All-Star appearance.
No, I
Not what I'm
understand.
saying.
I understand
But
it's a popularity
Aldridge
contest.
and see, it's like American Idol.
Oh my God, I was getting ready to say the same exact
It's like American
thing.
Idol.
I was getting ready to say the same exact thing. This is comparable to an American Idol win. Yeah.
That's why I don't watch American Idol.
Okay.
I'm not about popularity contests.
Okay.
As far as DeMarcus Cousins replacing Kobe Bryant, they could not have found anyone better simply because he should have made the first ballot.
Should have made the first cut.
Okay? Well, give me a break. 23-12 is not all-star worthy? Since when? Since when?
Is Chris and Blake both on the team?
Blake Griffin is.
He's not.
Blake Griffin is.
Oh, Chris is not? Chris Paul is not.
Unless he's on the reserves.
Are you kidding me?
Griffin's starting.
Chris Paul is not on the...
Not, he's
you
not a
have to
starter.
look that up.
He's not a starter. I know that much.
They have lost their minds.
Popularity contest.
Everybody loves Chris Paul.
But do they love Blake Griffin more? He's more
Yes.
flashy.
Yes. Yes. Well, he's not only more flashy, he's more controversial. Don't tell me that these fans do not want to see some fists thrown and some heated play out there on the court. Chris knows when to chill out.
All-star roster. For the East, your starters are Kyle Lowry, John Wall, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, and Pau Gasol. Your reserves,
Sorry for the interruption. Is LeBron still in there?
he's starting.
Yeah, but he's hurt right now.
No, he's fine.
Okay.
Your reserves are Chris Bosh, Jimmy Butler, Al Horford. Kyrie Irving is on the All-Star team. He's a reserve.
Good.
Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague, and Dwayne Wade. 3 Atlanta players.
Dwayne will not be there.
No,
They're going to have to replace him.
right. Your Western Conference All-Stars. Stephen Curry. Kobe Bryant is still considered an All-Star, but he's not there anymore. Blake
They
Griffin.
replace him yet.
With DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins.
James Harden will be starting. Okay, so the starting lineup is Stephen Curry, James Harden, Blake Griffin, Anthony Davis, and Marc Gasol. Your reserves.
Wow.
Your reserves are LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMarcus Cousins, Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, and Russell Westbrook.
Okay. Wait, Russell's not starting?
No, Curry's starting. It's bull crap, isn't it?
Wait, Westbrook is not starting?
Curry is starting over Westbrook. You see what I'm saying?
No, you read that wrong.
Curry is the leading vote getter.
Oh, I know
out
that.
of everyone.
Are you serious?
Curry is a starter over Westbrook, over Chris Paul.
Oh, not that, no.
You see?
No. No. He's not my favorite, but play-wise, that's wrong. That's wrong. I'm sorry. He deserves to start.
Pau Gasol.
He deserves to start. And I'm not in the cheering section for Westbrook all the time. But that's just flat out wrong.
Pau Gasol met with a standing ovation in his return to Los Angeles on the 29th.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Josh Smith goes and gets booed. Pau Gasol goes and gets a standing ovation.
But let's compare.
Oh, city to city? I know.
Not even that.
Yeah.
In 2009, if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers won the title
Yeah, I know.
with Kobe and Pau Gasol.
Yeah, I know.
Los Angeles is a classy city. Los Angeles knows what Pau Gasol did for their
Well,
franchise.
Los Angeles can separate personal feelings with playing ability.
Right.
And let's be honest, this is a sport. This is not just a sport, people. This is a business.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's a business.
Okay? It's a business. Otherwise, Tom Benson's family would not be trying to put the old man away and steal his business from him.
Look,
We won't go there with that.
This is so well deserved. I can't even.
Yeah.
The way Pau Gasol is playing this year
Oh my gosh.
is just off the charts. He's starting for the All-Star team. He deserves it.
I agree.
What he did for the Lakers, it's immeasurable.
I know.
It's nothing like Shaq. It's nothing like
Oh,
Kobe.
you're not comparing apples to apples.
But on that 2009 team, there was a lot of controversy. Oh, could they do it? Could Kobe carry the team? And he did, but Pau was right there with him.
Sure.
Pau was an all-star. Pau was a champion with them. It was well-deserved.
Yeah.
And kudos to the Staples Center crowd. Kudos to the Lakers fans for giving him the ovation that he deserved.
Absolutely.
And kudos to the man himself for having such success in a Lakers uniform.
Yeah.
How about that?
I agree.
Golden State snaps a 2-game losing streak with the win over Phoenix back on the 1st. Now, I don't care about the win. Great. Are the Warriors vulnerable? Why or why not?
Anybody's vulnerable on any given night. What do you mean by that?
They just went on a 2-game losing streak.
Okay.
They're talked about like they can't be beaten.
Oh no,
They go
I've
on a
never talked
2-game?
about them like they can't be beaten.
They go on a 2-game losing
The
streak.
analysts might do that, and some of the predictors might do that. Anybody can win on any given night, and anybody can lose on any given night. No one is beyond being beaten. I have never said that just because they win almost every game they play, that, okay, so they lost 2 games. It happens. It can happen to anybody. There's never been a team that has there ever, I don't know, I may be speaking out of turn. Has there ever been a team that has ever played an entire season and never lost a game?
No, the closest they've ever come to that was the Bulls with MJ. 72-10 was their final record.
They still had 10 losses.
Went on to win the
But
championship.
even with Michael Jordan, they still lost 10 games. Really? What year was that? Because I know you know.
95, 96.
On any given...
Some would argue that's the greatest team ever. And it's kind of hard to argue that.
Well, are the Golden State Warriors vulnerable? Of course, everybody is. Do I think this is a pattern that's forming that means that they're going to start losing more and more games? Not necessarily, or maybe so. I mean, we're trying to predict too much into the future here as far as I'm concerned.
So with question B, should the fans be concerned at all?
They're going to win more than they're going to lose, but they are going to lose some. Do they really think that they're invincible and they're not going to lose games? Any fan that thinks that their team is beyond a loss is not only stupid, but they're deluding themselves. There's too many factors. You can't control everybody's mindset going out on the floor. And it depends on who they're playing. Depends on if it's at home. Depends on if it's away. Depends on the weather. Depends on if they just played 3 games in a row back to back to back. There's so many factors involved here. You can't say that just because, come on, a 2-game losing streak? Oh, that doesn't mean anything. So they lost 2 games. Okay, join the crowd. So what? I don't think that means that there's doom and gloom in the future. It means that they're human. It means that they're just like anybody else. And of course they're vulnerable. Everybody's vulnerable on any given night, in any given sport, facing any given team. You can win or you can lose. Sorry. If it's your night, it's your night. If it's not, it's not. And there's so many other factors involved. The number one main thing, who you playing? You playing at home? You playing away? You playing with injuries? Is everybody so exhausted? I mean, that's a dumb question. It's a dumb question. Because losing 2 games in a row, I don't even call that a streak. You call that a back-to-back loss. So what? That's just me. Maybe I'm too simplistic. I don't know.
Wow. Because if I'm a Golden State fan, I'm shaking in my shoes.
Why?
Because you lost to Utah! Are you kidding me?
And the Pelicans got beat by Philadelphia.
And I was shaking in my shoes.
Yeah. Okay. It happens. And Utah is not as bad as last year's Utah.
And you let Gordon Hayward get 16 rebounds? Gordon
Hayden's a good player.
Oh yeah, Hayward can score. The kid averages 3.3 rebounds a game.
Okay.
And you let him go for 16?
Well, they dropped the ball that night.
And I am concerned because you can lose to Utah but beat Phoenix by 20?
And we lost to Philadelphia and beat the Clippers and...
Right! I'm shaking in my shoes because I look at the Western Conference and Golden State's got a 3.5 game lead. Mm-hmm. That was 8. Mm-hmm. It's now 3.5.
Okay.
You want home court? You got Memphis coming. You got Portland coming. You got Houston and Dallas.
Oh, I'm not saying they shouldn't be concerned.
They are more than vulnerable right now. Atlanta right now, here's the big difference, people. Atlanta right now in no way is vulnerable. In no way. Because in the East, between first and second place, you've got 7.5 games.
Yeah, now that I agree with.
They are not vulnerable at all.
I
Golden
agree.
State, 3 games. 3 games.
That can happen all in 1 week.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, I know.
So, yes, they are extremely vulnerable, especially because the other teams in the league, the Portlands of the world, the Clippers of the world, the San Antonios of the world, they're going to look at what I just looked at, that Utah game. And they're going to... I know Utah's nothing to sneeze at compared to last year. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying compared to Golden State, oh yeah, they are definitely something to sneeze at.
And I still go back to my same reference. The Pelicans got beat by Philadelphia, and we came back and beat the Clippers and Atlanta.
Right. Right.
We beat Atlanta.
Right.
Last night.
So we should have beaten Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
Golden State should have beaten Utah.
Okay. Oh, I'm not arguing that point. I'm saying that does not necessarily make them vulnerable, because we beat Philadelphia first and still came back
Well, they're vulnerable
and beat the
because
Clippers and Atlanta.
they're vulnerable because, number one, they're in the same division as the Clippers. Not just the same conference, the same division.
I know that.
They meet those boys 3 more times before it's all said and done.
Okay.
Okay? 3.5 game lead in the Western Conference. That ain't much of a lead.
No.
Okay? And that's just towards second place. Between second and sixth place, there's 1 game between second and sixth.
Everybody's neck and neck.
Everybody is gunning for you,
Oh,
Golden
yeah.
State. And the Dallases of the world.
They're all neck
the
and neck.
Portlands of the world. The Houstons of the world. The Clippers. The San Antonios. Hell, even the New Orleans of the world
Absolutely.
are gonna
With
look.
what we've done in the last 2 games,
Are gonna look at that Utah game and say,
and we beat the Clippers
Wait,
without AD
wait,
and Drew.
wait. They're gonna look at that game and they're gonna say, shit, Utah beat Golden State.
Why
We're
can't
coming.
we? Right. I hear everything you're saying, and I agree with you.
Extremely
But
vulnerable.
I don't think that winning 2 games back to back means it's a losing streak.
No, I don't think it's a losing streak either because they beat Phoenix.
Right.
But they are vulnerable. They are extremely vulnerable because their lead in the Western Conference has
Do
diminished.
you or do you not agree with me that anybody's vulnerable on any given night? I would say
Okay,
the
on a
only
game-to-game
one- okay,
basis.
I would say that the only one right now
Atlanta.
is Atlanta.
So no, they're not vulnerable. If you're talking game to game, can anybody be beat? Oh hell yeah, of course.
Then everybody's vulnerable.
Except Atlanta.
Right. Right now.
Kyrie Irving drops 55 in the win over Portland.
What is there to say?
Your thoughts?
Well, it was the Kyrie Irving show. Actually, it's awesome. Congratulations. It was so much fun to watch. But I have a question for you, and I was hoping this was going to be one of the topics. Should Kyrie Irving have made that many points?
Should he have?
Because I'm going to refer back to something that my friend Chris, that I'm looking at right now, has said 1,000,000
Oh
times.
my God, here we go.
Uh-huh. What am I going to say?
Because it's not the point guard
That's
job.
right.
But when LeBron James is out,
Okay.
as he was in this game,
Okay, I give you that. That I'll give you. Okay, but I want to follow it up with something. Shouldn't other people have been able to step up to the plate and do their job too?
sure,
Okay.
okay.
You're the first person that will say it's not the point guard's job to make that many
That's
points.
not what I say. You misconstrue my statement every time you try to quote me. Is Kyrie Irving known as a passer? Please tell me. Because if he is, I'm missing it.
No.
Last time I checked, LeBron leads that team in assists.
Right.
Of all people, LeBron is 7th in the league in assists. That blows my mind. By the way, congratulations to him. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
This man, Kyrie Irving, only averages about 4.5 to 5 assists a game,
Okay.
but plays the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the player we're talking about.
Okay.
When the point guard position was originated, yes, their job was to pass. But it has developed. It started with Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson played point guard, but he scored.
Played it like nobody
Like
else.
a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
Scored.
Mm-hmm.
He could dish it too, but he wasn't known for that. He was a scorer. Kyrie Irving. The most amazing thing about this performance is that LeBron James announced 8 minutes before tip-off that he wasn't going to play.
Right. Don't you think
So
they all got a nod in their
So
stomach?
in 8 minutes,
He had to get his mind wrapped around
Kyrie
that.
Irving had to change his whole mindset on this game because he was going up against Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Damian Lillard and I love Kyrie Irving. Two of my favorites. I'll take Kyrie Irving because he went to Duke.
Yeah.
But he demolished Damian Lillard in this game. Demolished him.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible.
So it was okay for him to make 55 points.
Sure, it's okay. Was it okay for Mo Williams to make 52?
It was okay.
Yeah, because they won.
Okay. But that's not supposed to be his main job.
With LeBron not on the floor, yeah, somebody's got to step up and score because LeBron's second in the league in scoring at 26 and a half.
Oh, I know
So
that.
somebody's got to make up 26 and a half
Right,
points.
Right. But you criticize Chris Paul when he passes it off to somebody else to make
Depending on the situation. Depending on the
I'm
situation.
never going to forget that you criticize
It
Chris Paul.
depends on the situation.
Okay.
Perfect example. The New Orleans game. We were there.
I know.
Chris Paul scored 7 straight.
Yeah.
Brought them within 2 points.
Yeah, you know why? Because he had to.
Right. Did he take another shot in that
Right.
game? Did he take another shot after that?
No.
Why?
Because Blake finally decided to do something.
What did he do? Blake Griffin had 2 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh, you're talking about just the fourth quarter.
Chris
Okay.
Paul scored 7 straight and then he's going to pass it up? Why? You've scored the last 7 points for your team. And now all of a sudden you're going to pass? Why? Does that make any sense to you?
Because it goes back to the old school mentality of the fact that that's not his job.
Oh my God. He brought the team within 2 points. 1 freaking shot. He was on. Wait, you're famous. Give it to the hot hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul had the hot hand. Shit, he starts every possession with the ball in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It is his choice
Mm-hmm.
what to do with that ball. And he'd scored 7 straight. Now all of a sudden we're going to pass? Why?
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be shooting. I'm saying that that's not supposed to be their role.
But when you've scored the last 7 and you're on fire,
Then he gets criticized for doing it.
do they win the game?
Then why are they criticizing if he does it?
Because that's the media.
Okay? You know that there was...
Do you know how much Chris
Do you
Paul
know-
cares about the media?
Do you know that there was criticism on Yahoo about Kyrie Irving dropping 55?
Great! Great! Do you know how much Kyrie Irving cares about the public?
Okay?
Not too much if they won the damn game. My concern with this game is that they only won by 4.
Okay. It's still a win.
It is a win, but
It's a win, but LeBron's back.
thank God! Because Kyrie Irving ain't just dropped 55 a night.
No. But it sure was fun
Oh,
to
it was
watch.
fantastic. He's fantastic. He went to Duke. What more do you need?
It was fun.
What more do you need?
It's kind of like last night with Isaiah Thomas. It was the Isaiah Thomas show.
Kemba Walker has surgery, and he will be out 6 to 7
Okay,
weeks.
refresh my memory. What happened? What's wrong with him? His knee.
No, nothing tore. Nothing tore.
No
it was,
meniscus or anything?
it was a little tendon in his knee.
Torn?
Well, okay, it was a torn tendon, but it wasn't the ACL, the MCL, the PCL, the LCL. It wasn't anything like that. It was a small tendon that
Okay.
needed to be taken care of.
All right.
He underwent successful
Well,
surgery.
the main reason for the 6 or 7 weeks is so that he can go through
Recuperate.
rehab.
Right.
And rehab. You got to get that tendon working again.
Your thoughts
About?
about Just the situation in general. Charlotte being the 8th seed in the East right now. Kimba's out 6 to 7 more weeks. Can Charlotte keep the 8th seed?
No.
Where does Charlotte go from here?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. They were barely hanging on to the 8th seed right now. I really think this is going to hurt them tremendously. And you know what I'm hoping? Please forgive me. I'm hoping that this hurts them to the point and we keep winning and we can jump from 9th to 8th.
Talking the East here.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. Sorry. Went way out of my realm of thinking here. Yes, it's going to hurt them. Of course it's going to
hurt for one main reason. And that is that the 9th seed in the East right now is the Brooklyn Nets. And they beat the Clippers last night. And they're within a half game of 8th. But at the same time, look at what this Charlotte team did last night. Beat Washington. In Washington.
Yeah, help me to understand that, because on my pick sheet, I wrote off to the side and didn't even realize I wrote it because I was so upset when I was watching the game. I wrote on my pick sheet last night, what the hell is wrong with Washington?
Well, please tell me why Paul Pierce scores 8 in the first quarter and ends the game with 11.
Good point. I don't know.
Please tell me why, of all people to lead you in rebounds, Bradley Beal, your 6'3" shooting guard. Not Nene, not Gortat.
You know what it looked like?
They didn't care.
No, that's not true. You can't talk about a team with Paul Pierce on it and say that he doesn't care.
They played nonchalantly.
No. You know what they played like? They played like they didn't know what their positions were.
Nonchalantly. They were just...
They played like they didn't know what their positions were, who they were supposed to be guarding, or what their role was in the game. I was looking at the screen going, what are you doing? Washington, what was their win streak a while back?
Well, they had won like some 12, 13 games.
What happened? No, I'm serious. I'm not being facetious.
Well, I mean, they're third in the East.
Can you tell? They're not going to stay third in the East for long at this rate.
Oh, yeah, they will. There's too much of a gap. There's too much of a gap.
If they keep playing like last night? Can you think of anything? Is anybody hurt?
No. They're just cold right now. It happens.
Cold?
Yeah.
They looked like they didn't know what they were doing last night. They looked like they did not know what they were doing last night. This is not the Washington team that we have been watching all season. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. But it didn't look good.
They've lost 3 straight
Last night was the third.
in a row. At Phoenix by 8 versus Toronto in overtime by 4, and last night versus Charlotte by 4.
I don't care if it was 1 last night. I don't care if it was 1 point last night. It was against Charlotte, and it looked like they didn't know what they were doing. That's the part that bothers me the most. And Paul Pierce to end up with 11 points.
8 in the first quarter, 3 for the rest of the game.
Yeah, what happened? What did everybody tell them after the first quarter that made them all of a sudden lose interest?
I'm not sure.
Well, I was very disappointed last night.
Chandler Parsons, quote, Harden is the MVP so far. Yvonne Juno, agree or disagree with this quote, and why?
Absolutely. I agree 150% so far for this season at this point in time. And do I really need to say why? The man is wonderful. The man is awesome. The man has been there when nobody else has been there. The man has won games for the team that if he had not been there, they would not have won. He's playing like a man possessed. He is all basketball, all business. I agree. I agree. You've got to agree with this. And if you don't, I want you to tell me who else, right now, who else fits the category of MVP. If you had to give out this award right now, today, who would you give it to?
I agreed with this up until last night.
Okay, he had an off night.
No. I'm not talking about James Harden.
Okay.
You just posed the question to me. If I had to give out this
The MVP award right now.
When you talk about MVP, you talk about the player that your team is just not the same without. The most valuable player on the most valuable team. The player that in one season...
That makes the most difference.
That makes the most difference on a team.
Absolutely, and right now that's James Harden.
Anthony Davis. Plain and simple. You mean to tell me the Pelicans would have won without him last night? Against Atlanta? 29-13?
Yeah, but you're looking at last night's game only.
No.
I'm looking at
All
the
season.
entire season
All
up until
season.
now.
All season. Davis, 4th in the league in scoring.
Baby.
Listen to me. 4th in the league in scoring. 8th in the league in rebounding. 1st in the league in blocks. 6th in field goal percentage. The only category I see Harden in is points. Player, not team. Player. There is no more valuable player right now at this particular moment than Anthony Davis. Because Anthony Davis and the Pelicans just did something that 19 other teams, including Houston, twice could not do.
They beat Atlanta.
Correct. Destroyed Atlanta. Led the whole way except for 2.5 minutes.
That's true. That's true.
I don't see James Harden beating Atlanta. And they did it without Drew Holiday. Let's not forget that. I don't see James Harden beating Atlanta. The only category I see James Harden in, we look at these categories that pop up right here on this big TV right here.
Sure.
Points. Number 1 in the league. Great. Great.
What wins games?
Carmelo Anthony was the scoring champion last year. Did he win MVP?
Games. Points.
What wins championships?
You've said that yourself.
What wins championships? Points win games.
Mm-hmm.
Defense wins championships.
Okay.
I don't see Harden playing defense. I don't see James Harden putting up 29 and 13 and 5 blocks.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would give anything on the face of the earth for Anthony Davis to win the MVP. I would give anything. Yeah, I would.
19 other teams
But
could not do it. And without Anthony Davis, we would not have done it. The difference...
But they beat the Clippers without him.
You're not comparing apples to apples. Who's better?
Oh, the Atlanta without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
The stats prove that.
Okay.
Yeah.
40 wins.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
The difference of one man, Anthony Davis, stopped a 19-game win streak. Cold in its tracks. They hit a brick wall last night. James Harden's not a brick wall. Please understand, I'm not taking anything away from James Harden.
No, because he's been phenomenal.
He is phenomenal. He always has been phenomenal. I love the man. But I don't think you can argue 4th in scoring, 8th in rebounding, 6th in field goal percentage, and 1st in blocks.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think you can argue that for MVP right
No.
now.
All around.
I really don't think you can argue that. The most valuable player on a team right now. Now, this could change with the whole Dwight Howard scenario
Oh,
that we got going
absolutely.
on. Okay? It could definitely change. Right now, at this very second, if I had the MVP award.
So what you're saying is, Dwight Howard can't come back. Harden has to step up and try to fill the gap.
help
Okay.
fill the gap.
Help.
Because he's not going to be able to do it on his
No, I know
own.
he's not going to be able to be the big man. I know that. Help fill the gap and fill the void
Yes.
of Dwight not being there.
Yes.
Then you would change your mindset.
Maybe. Because
Well,
let's not forget.
It depends on how well Anthony keeps performing.
Well, let's not forget. Anthony Davis, as good as he is help filling the void right now as well.
Absolutely, because Drew Holiday's not on the
You
court.
got it.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
So if we beat Atlanta last night,
You can't take anything away from Tyreek Evans, so I will.
I love Tyreek Evans.
I will hurt you if you take
I'm not
anything
taking
away
anything
from
away.
Tyreek Evans.
Are you kidding me?
After
No.
what he's done?
No. But I'm simply saying, if we beat Atlanta last night
And we did.
by 15,
Yeah.
can you imagine if Holiday had been on the floor?
Oh,
You're talking a 25-point win.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't see Houston beating Atlanta by 25.
Yeah.
Home or road or neutral site.
Yeah.
Don't see it.
Okay.
Right now, if I had the MVP trophy in my hand, I'm not disagreeing with Chandler Parsons because James Harden has a solid case for MVP. But if I had the MVP trophy in my hand right now, and I had a decision between, and it's going to be these three, it's going to be James Harden,
Uh-huh.
Anthony Davis,
Uh-huh.
and LeBron James.
Yeah.
Stephen Curry as a dark horse candidate. Okay? If I had a choice, I'm going with number 23, the one that plays for New Orleans.
Oh, I hope you're right.
Speaking of New Orleans,
I was looking at the big picture since the beginning of the season.
Anthony Davis.
But Anthony was out for a while.
Okay? And he's still putting up these kind of numbers.
Okay?
I mean, in the first game of the season, he had 28 and 19.
Believe me.
And 7 blocks.
Nothing would make me happier than for Anthony to get it. I just know what Harden has
I'm
done since the
not
beginning of the
disagreeing
season.
with Parsons by
Yeah.
any stretch of the word.
Okay?
But speaking of New Orleans, let's take a look at the Pelicans' outlook for this week.
All right.
Some
Ooh,
scenarios.
we got a tough week coming up.
Some scenarios.
Man.
We beat Atlanta, okay, as we've stated on multiple occasions in the past 10
Yay.
minutes. Where we are now is we're 9th.
And we beat them by 15 points.
We are 26 and 22.
I can't stop saying that.
4 games over 500. Okay? For the first time since 2010, we're 4 games over 500. Okay? So we're in good shape. I cannot stress the importance of this week's games.
Well, we need to win some, and there's certain people that need to lose.
Okay. Again, we're going to take a look. We're going to, instead of it focusing on just Phoenix and New Orleans, I'm going to throw in a third dark horse team here.
Okay.
Oklahoma City.
All right.
The reason for that is you look at the standings. The team behind us right now in 10th,
It's OKC.
you got it.
Right, and Kevin Durant is questionable.
Why is that significant?
Yeah.
We play OKC twice in 2 days. Okay? At New Orleans. Okay?
Twice in 2 days.
Twice in 3 days, sorry.
Oh,
In 3 days. Okay? We've got them at home, then on the road, then we've got Chicago at home.
Yeah. We got 3 big games.
When I tell
And
you,
2 of them are with the same team. And
When
it's
I
OKC.
tell
and
you-
we don't know if Kevin Durant's going to be a part of 1, a part of 2, or neither one.
Yvonne, contrary to popular belief, that Chicago game is not the most important one of the week.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
I'd like to point out something before you elaborate. We only have 1 night of rest between those games. Tonight we do not play, then we play Wednesday, then we do not play Thursday, then we do play Friday. No,
Yes,
we play Saturday.
we play
Wait.
Friday and Saturday. We play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday this week.
Monday, Wednesday. Okay, yeah. Last night's over. Okay, so now we've got OKC.
We got Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Right.
OKC twice in Chicago. Here's the thing. We are 1 game behind Phoenix
Yeah.
for 8th. Here's the problem, Yvonne. OKC's in 10th. We play them twice.
In the same week.
Wait. They're only 2 games behind us. So if we lose both to OKC, we drop into 10th.
Then they stay solid.
We have to win 1 of those games against Oklahoma City. Preferably the one tomorrow night at home. Okay?
We play much better at home.
Preferably both. Okay?
Yeah.
But I have a very strong feeling that Kevin Durant's going to be back for Friday night's game.
You think?
I do. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow night. I think he's going to come back at home.
What's wrong with him again? I keep getting all their injuries confused.
Right now he's got a sprained toe.
Oh, that's
He's
true.
missed 3 of the last 4.
Wait a minute. How long was Anthony Davis out with that?
Week.
That's it.
Mhm.
All right.
We have to win 1. Now, let's do like we did last week.
Okay.
All goes well.
I
Okay.
hope so.
Say against Chicago, anybody's guess. Okay? We match up with Chicago so well.
Thank God we're at home.
If all goes well,
Okay, and not to interrupt you again, but we will have the 2 OKC games behind us.
yes.
If we win them both, we're going to be pumped.
If all goes
If
well,
we lose them both,
we also another thing we have going for us right now that I like to use on this show is what word? Momentum.
yeah, I
We've
know.
won 6 of the last 7. We're on a roll, okay?
We're away, we're home, we're
home, away, home.
Away, home.
If all goes well, Yvonne,
Jeez.
if all goes well, and we beat OKC, okay? If we beat OKC and Phoenix loses to Portland on Thursday night,
I've already got it circled. They've got to.
we take over 8th.
Oh, wait. If we win...
If we win Wednesday, tomorrow,
Okay.
and OKC loses Thursday,
Thursday to Phoenix.
we are in the playoffs.
Now, if we turn around and lose on Friday night,
We stay in 8th unless Phoenix beats Utah on the same night, which is likely going to happen. If that happens,
then we have to beat Chicago.
we're in 9th by half a game.
Oh,
If all goes well and we win all 3 of these games, okay, we will be 29 and 22. If Phoenix loses to Portland and Utah and Sacramento, we'll be in 8th and we'll have a 1-game lead
wow.
if all goes well.
That means we would have to... Ooh.
The lines just
That's
came
a lot
up.
of ifs.
The lines just got released for Wednesday.
For Wednesday?
Yep. But before we do that, before we do our pick'em, a standings update.
Okay.
If the playoffs started today,
Oh, a standings update.
okay? If the playoffs started today, in the East, the 1 seed Atlanta would play the 8 seed Charlotte. The 2 seed Toronto would play the 7 seed Miami. The 3 seed Washington would play the 6 seed Milwaukee. And the 4 seed Chicago would play the 5 seed Cleveland.
Ooh.
In the West, the 1 seed Golden State would play the 8 seed Phoenix. The 2 seed Memphis.
Wait, Phoenix is 8th?
Mm-hmm. Phoenix is in 8th, we're in 9th. That's why we need Phoenix to lose.
Okay.
The 2 seed Memphis would play the 7 seed San Antonio. The 3 seed
I
Houston.
never dreamed San Antonio would ever drop below 5.
The 3 seed Houston would play the 6 seed Dallas. And the 4 seed Portland would play the 5 seed Clippers.
Wow.
If the playoffs started today. Alright. Lastly,
We still have enough battery time to do pick'ems on the air, because if not, we need to sign off.
we do. We have enough battery time.
All right. Wow.
Week 15 pick'em. Yvonne has won the past 2 weeks,
Yay me!
but I'm still up by 11 for the year.
He had to throw that in there. Just to let y'all know, he is such a guy. He had to throw that in there. God forbid he could have just said Yvonne won the last 2 weeks and left it at that. No! He had to
So,
throw that in there.
so tonight we have one difference. Okay, we both have Denver over Philadelphia. I've got Miami over Detroit. You've got Detroit. We both have the Knicks over Boston. We both have Portland over Utah. And we both have Golden State over Sacramento.
I'd also like to say, since he threw that in about overall, that so far I know it's only Tuesday, but I am up from last night.
For this week, yes.
Yes.
For Wednesday,
All right.
the week lines are up.
Please help me. Tell me what you
For
think
Wednesday.
and tell me what they say.
Detroit and Indiana. Right now, your line is 4 to Indiana. I am not picking this game until I see what Detroit does against Miami tonight.
Okay, I go with that.
Okay?
I didn't make a pick there either.
Washington and Atlanta.
I have Atlanta.
Your line is 6 to Atlanta,
I have Atlanta.
and I'm picking Atlanta.
All
Okay?
right.
Denver and Boston.
I have no idea, but I want to see Denver and Philadelphia tonight.
I do as well. I'm not picking that game.
What are
yet.
they saying?
Right
though?
now, the line is 2.5 to Boston.
Really? Now wait, Boston plays New York tonight.
Yes, they
Okay,
do.
that's going to make a big difference. Denver beats Philadelphia, and Boston beats New York. Let's say they both win.
I like Denver.
That line's going to change.
It could, yes. That line's
It will.
very subject to change, yes.
It will.
Yes.
And then I'm going to have to go with Denver.
Brooklyn and Toronto.
I've got Toronto.
Right now, your line is 10 to Toronto,
And it's, as it should be.
and I've got Toronto winning that game. Chicago and Houston. Right now, your line is even.
That's because they don't know what to say. But with Dwight Howard
No
out,
Dwight
I'm going
Howard.
with
I've
I'm
got
going with
Chicago.
Chicago. Even if it's a road game, I've got Chicago. I'm sorry. The absence of Dwight Howard, even though he's not my favorite, is going to be bad.
The Lakers at Milwaukee. Right now, your line is 7 to Milwaukee,
Of course it is, because there's no Kobe.
and I've got
I
Milwaukee.
do too.
I am not picking this Miami-Minnesota game till I see the Miami-Detroit game, because Ricky Rubio coming back from Minnesota made a difference against Dallas, so it's going to make a difference against Miami. There are 3 games right now that I'm not picking until
With
I see
LeBron
tonight.
playing?
What are you talking about?
I mean, with
Without Wade,
Without
all the
Dwayne
more
Wade.
reason I'm not picking Miami right now.
okay, but you got more than just Dwayne Wade on.
I
the
agree, but if they lose to Detroit tonight, what makes me think they're going to beat Minnesota? With
Okay,
Ricky
say that
Rubio just
again.
coming back.
Say that again.
If they lose to Detroit tonight, on the road, they got to go from Michigan to Minnesota overnight. What makes
Okay.
me think that they're going to beat Minnesota with Ricky Rubio just coming back? He obviously made a difference last night.
Okay, you're right.
They only lost by 6 at Dallas.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
I see your line.
Not picking
I
that.
see your pattern.
Not picking
I see
that
your
yet.
thought process, but I do have Miami circled.
Oklahoma, right now they're favored by 1.5, Miami. Okay? Then you've got Oklahoma City
Well,
out
I've
in
got
New Orleans.
New Orleans because it's New Orleans. What are they saying?
Right now, your line is 3.5 to New Orleans.
What? Yes! Go! Now, they're taking into account that they don't think Kevin Durant's going to play.
Right now, Durant is not in the lineup.
That's why they're giving him 3.5.
Orlando at San Antonio?
Are you going to change your mind if Kevin Durant plays?
No.
Okay.
At home? No.
Me either.
Orlando at San Antonio?
San Antonio.
Your line is 12.5 to San Antonio, and I like it.
Yep.
Memphis at Utah?
Memphis.
Your line is 6.5 to Memphis, and I'm going with Memphis.
Me too.
Dallas and Golden State?
Golden State.
Your line is 8.5 to Golden State. I'm picking Golden State simply because Rondo does not play in this game.
Okay. If Rondo was, you'd go with Dallas.
I would in a heartbeat.
You would on the road.
In a
With
heartbeat.
that Golden State crowd.
In a heartbeat.
Okay. They have
Thursday.
the rest of the week.
Yes,
Oh,
they
they
do.
have the whole week?
The whole week.
All right.
Thursday. Washington at Charlotte. Very interesting game here.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
What are they saying?
Right now, your line is 4 to Washington.
I don't know about that.
And I'm going to pick Washington by 5 here. Because of the fact that John Wall is not going to be facing Kemba Walker in this game. Kemba Walker out for 6 to 7 weeks. And Washington's the deeper team. They've got a better bench.
Kemba Walker was playing last night.
No. Kemba Walker just had a
Charlotte
surgery.
beat Washington last night.
Yes, they did.
92 to 88.
Yes, they did.
What the hell would make you pick Washington in Charlotte?
Added motivation.
Oh no.
You're going against Paul Pierce.
I'm going to have to.
After coming off of a loss, you know how Paul Pierce plays after losing. Historically. After Paul Pierce loses a game that he knows he should have won, he shows up big.
I'm going with Charlotte.
That's a difference.
I'm going with Charlotte.
The Clippers at Cleveland.
Any injuries? Anybody out?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. And right now, your line is 2.5 to Cleveland.
Of course it is. What are you doing?
Cleveland. For more than one reason. Number 1, they're on an 11-game win streak.
Well, and they're home.
Number 2, they're at home. And number 3, Chris Paul is against Kyrie Irving.
It's the Kyrie Irving show.
You got it. Dallas at Sacramento. Dallas plays at Golden State the night before. Going to be a very tough one. Right now,
They're going to be exhausted.
the line is 4.5 to Dallas.
And they're going to have to go from...
It's in the same state.
Oh, that's right. California. Dallas.
I like Dallas.
Yeah.
I like Dallas.
Yeah. Me too.
Big game. Phoenix at Portland.
Well, I'm picking Portland regardless of what the line says because Portland's got to win
right
that
now,
one.
your line is 5.5 to Portland.
Good.
And I like Portland to win this game by 7.
And they have to win.
They're going to win.
They have to win.
They're going to win.
For us to get ahead, they have to win.
They're going to win.
Okay. We have one difference that night.
Yes, we do. Friday night.
We have no differences for tomorrow night?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I have two I haven't
Well, I
picked.
have 3 that I haven't picked.
I have two I haven't picked.
Right.
Okay.
Friday night.
Friday night
The
is
Battle
big,
of
man.
New York.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A dozen games.
The Battle of New York. The New York Knicks at Brooklyn. Right now. And remember, all of these lines are very subject to change.
Oh.
We're Tuesday and we're talking about
Absolutely.
Friday.
Absolutely.
Okay? Right now,
We're making premature predictions.
right now, your line is 7 to Brooklyn.
I don't believe that for a minute.
I don't like the spread, but I like the winner.
I I like the win. There's no way.
I like Brooklyn by 4.
If that.
By somewhere between 3 and 6 points.
Quite honestly, I could see it going either way.
Well, they're in New York, so there's going to be Knicks fans there, so it could. But Brooklyn coming off the win against the Clippers, momentum, I believe in it. I like Brooklyn. If it was in Madison Square Garden, I'd pick the Knicks in a moment. But I like Brooklyn in this game.
Go ahead.
Cleveland and Indiana.
Cleveland.
Right now, your line is 6.5 to Cleveland. Oh boy. The Lakers and Orlando.
It's got to be Orlando.
Right now, your line is 3 to Orlando.
Mm-hmm. You going with Orlando?
I'm going to pick Orlando simply because I think they're going to win the rebounding battle. Golden
And they're
State
home.
at Atlanta. The two best teams in the NBA clash. Right now.
Is anybody out? Is
No.
anybody hurt? Is
No.
anybody... Atlanta.
Right now, your line is 4.5
What?
to Atlanta.
They're really giving them that much of a spread?
I like Atlanta by 8 to 10 in this game.
You
Defense.
really?
Defense, defense,
there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind. First of all, nobody's going to let Curry stand in the middle of the court and do nothing but shoot
Right.
three-pointers.
Philly at Boston. Right now, line 6 to Boston.
No. 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 Boston may win, but I don't think it's going to be by 6.
Boston by 4 is my call.
I reserve the right to change my mind, but I'm picking Philadelphia. That's a
Ooh. Denver at Detroit.
I may change my mind.
Interesting one.
Now wait a minute. I don't know if I. What are they saying? Because I'm not sure I'm picking. We got both teams playing tomorrow night.
Right now, your line is even.
Oh yeah. You know why? Because they both play tomorrow night. Detroit plays Indiana, and Denver plays Boston, and they're both playing on the road. So.
The Clippers at Toronto.
Oh, are you picking for tomorrow night?
I'm not picking this game.
Between Denver and Detroit?
I'm not picking this game.
I'm not
no.
either.
The Clippers at Toronto.
Wow.
Right now, your line
Clippers
is...
are on the road.
Right
they
now-
play the night before they play the Clippers.
You mean
I mean Cleveland.
Right now, your line is even because these two teams have the exact same record.
The night before, the Clippers play Cleveland.
I'm not picking this game.
I want to wait and see what
Because
the rest
if the
of the week looks
Clippers
like.
beat Cleveland, I'm picking them over Toronto. Okay.
Oh, because they'll be pumped.
Milwaukee at Houston. I don't think there's much to debate here. I like Houston. Memphis at Minnesota.
Memphis.
Same thing. I am not picking New Orleans against Oklahoma City right now because I want to see if Kevin Durant plays. Utah at Phoenix.
You better circle New Orleans.
Oh, I hope New Orleans wins.
No, you got to put it down. You can change your mind later.
Fine.
Okay?
Fine.
You fair weather fan.
Farewell. Oh, right. Right.
They got to win.
Utah at Phoenix. They got to win the one on Wednesday. I'm worried about the one on Wednesday before the one on Friday. Utah
if
at
they're
Phoenix.
gonna win against OKC, they got to win at home.
Utah.
They don't. They do much better at home than on the road.
Utah at Phoenix. I'm sorry.
You picked Utah or Phoenix?
Hell no, Phoenix.
What's the spread?
Right now, your line is 9 to Phoenix.
Really, really want Utah to win.
Oh, me too, but I don't think it's going to happen. And Miami at San Antonio.
Dwayne needs to come back.
Very simple for me.
San Antonio.
Yep.
We
Sad.
have one difference. Well, no, there's.
There's two that I haven't
Yeah,
picked.
there's 2 I haven't picked yet.
Saturday.
New Orleans.
Chicago at New Orleans. I'm going to circle New Orleans, but...
What are they saying?
Right now the line is 3 to Chicago.
Okay.
Brooklyn at Washington.
Washington.
Right now your line is 7 to Washington. And I like that. Golden State at New York. Madison
State.
Square Garden is going to give them some problems, but right now I'm picking Golden State.
Golden State.
Charlotte at Philly.
Charlotte.
Yep. No doubt in my mind.
You're not telling me what the lines are.
Well, because we're picking.
Okay.
Portland at Dallas.
I have no clue. I have no
Right now,
clue.
your line is 2.5 to Dallas.
Without Rondo.
Yep. And I don't trust that.
2.5 to Dallas without Rondo. Are they doing that strictly because they're at home?
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm picking Portland.
I cannot.
I'm picking Portland.
Me too.
No, Rondo, Damian Lillard has a fantastic game.
Oh, what?
Boston at Milwaukee. I don't think there's much to this one.
No chance in hell Milwaukee can do. What's the line say?
I'm picking Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Right now, the line is 6.5 to Milwaukee.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
And
you
Sacramento at Utah, it's anybody's guess.
What are they saying?
Right
That
now,
could go either way.
the line is even.
Because they don't know what to say. I think I'm going to wait and make that decision
I am as
based
well.
on what the rest of the week shows.
And I don't know if I can pick Sunday. Look at the games.
Oh, it's going to be unbelievable.
I can pick a couple of them.
Yeah.
I can
pick Cleveland
I can
over
pick
the
Cleveland
Lakers.
over the Lakers.
I can pick. Oh.
I can pick Detroit over Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
I can pick Chicago over Orlando. That's about it. That's about all I can pick right now. That's about it. I'm going to have to wait.
You don't think Charlotte can win at home over
They
Indiana?
can, but if Indiana starts a win streak. I mean, you just never know.
Atlanta at Memphis.
Yep. Big game right there. I want to see what the rest of the week brings.
Clippers and OKC. It depends.
Right.
It depends.
Can't pick that far in advance.
San Antonio and Toronto.
Yep.
Phoenix and Sacramento. That should be well.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You're right. You're right. So, for the most part, we've picked our teams.
For the
but
most part.
for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's going to really heavily depend on what happens
It is.
tonight and tomorrow night.
It is.
And we'll just have to talk to each other and get together and make some decisions.
Alrighty. Well, that concludes this week's edition of Full Court Press Basketball Debate. For Yvonne Juno, I'm Chris Guyette. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.